Good afternoon. Today I would like to tell you a new story of magic. This is from Voyagers 2 Secrets of Amenti by Asayana Deane. This story goes back to 1998 when I met my husband of today. After I got divorced in 1997 from my first husband and I was still living in the UK, my mom said to me that I should return to Spain because all my family was there and I was alone in the UK. But there was something I was told, something is coming, you must wait. So I said, I don't know what's coming, but it is important and I have to stay. And I stayed. And about 6 months later, my husband appeared. I was talking in another article about the photon belt. The most intense part of the transition will be when our sun moves fully into the photon belt in the late 1998. And in this book, Voyagers 2, it says that on the 30th of the 8th, 1998, there will be a 3-day incubation rite for the humans with Palaidorian birth contracts for the Indigo children held in Agartha. Parent couples attend via astral teleportation, birthing contracts finalized. The Paradisians are 6D soul essences and become fully embodied souls when their 6th strand completes activation, usually by 12 years of age. Through soul agreements, 150,000 couples were chosen to serve as birthing parents for the incoming Paradisian race soul essence. The parent couples underwent manipulation of the bioenergetic fields and DNA to allow for a strong energetic soul bond to be created between the parents. The Paradisian souls will enter incarnation Earth from the D6 frequency bands of Tara through the D6 Syrian stellar spiral. The 6-dimensional frequencies correspond to the indigo wave pattern of the interdimensional light spectrum. Thus, the Paradisian children have been nicknamed the Indigo children or Syrian blue babies. The birth schedule of the Indigo children will proceed as follows. The first wave of 144,500 Indigo children will birth between 1999 and 2004. They will complete activation of the 6th DNA strand at the age of 12, between 2011 to 2016. Children of the first birth wave will serve as placeholders. Their 6th DNA strand activation serving to ensure the balance and grounding of D6 frequencies on Earth during the 2012 to 2027 ascension period. The second birth wave of 5,500 Indigo children will birth between 2005 and 2017 to reach maturity at age 12. Between 2017 to 2029, the children of the second birth wave will assist bridged zone Earth to balance its frequency following the 2017 particle conversion process. They will also serve as placeholders, grounding D6 frequency into the sphere of Amenti race morphogenetic field. The finalization of the Palaidorian birthing contracts and contract bonds between the parent couples of the Indigo children took place on August 30th, 1998. Now you may remember that I said to my mom that I had to stay. And it was on the 6th of September of 1998 that my husband appeared in my life. And I say appeared because he seemed to come out of nowhere and stayed for the next 22 years of my life so far. He never thought he would have children. I didn't think that I could have children because I tried with my first husband and it didn't happen. So I'm guessing that that wasn't in my destiny. So far I've told you a few items. At the moment they may seem irrelevant or unrelated. As always, whenever we read spiritual information, it seems up there, unconnected with the earth, because we don't know the origins of this information, because we don't understand multidimensionality and quantum physics and this kind of information. But I always say that all the information we need is related, linked here at the heart level. So the first step for this information is to actually say, does it ring true? At an intuitive level, can I accept it? And then once you are open to receive it, then the manifestations and the links start making sense in your real life. So 2005 to 2017 is the second birthing wave of 5,500 Indigo children. So my daughter Ichaso was born on the 30th of October 2006 in South Africa, in Cape Town, after we moved in July 2005. After I got guidance from Spirit asking me to check the moon phases on the internet, matching my fertile cycle with the corresponding phase of the moon, is all in my book, Magical Conception. I will put a link here in the text box. And we got pregnant at the first attempt, 2 weeks later, and I was 40 years old. Coincidence, synchronicity, truth, you name it. I could say all, but the fact is that I always find confirmation of the events in my life in books after things have already happened. With this, I dismiss the possibility that I may read it first and then create the situations to make it happen. It is as if something happens, I integrate it, and then I find the information, or the information finds me, in order to raise my conscious awareness that indeed further pieces of the cosmic puzzle have come together, and it shows me what part my life plays in each whole. So in that way, I consider myself very blessed because I always walk a path of clarity and purpose. But moving on with the photon belt scenario, the information that I read says the action of the photon belt will also have a significant effect on the pineal gland. Our psychic energy will ramp up and our DNA will unlock and decode to reduce the shock of the transition. A photon quantum of light, or the smallest possible packet of light, is emitted by an atom during a transition from one energy state to another. I feel that we are in an intense time of transition. So much energy we are actually emitting at this stage in the world, and all humans going through the transition at the same time, shifting from one energy state to another. So are we actually capitalizing on this energy transfer? How are we using it? Or are we just actually losing this energy? There's lots of questions maybe for another article, but if you believe in the principles of attraction in which equal energies resonate and attract each other, on the 30th of August, the couples that are birthing the Indigo children get together in Agartha or a spiritual level to get the DNA manipulated in order to become strong bonds to help these children become clear on their spiritual agreement of becoming placeholders for the Earth at this moment of huge transition. These children are system busters. They see through you. They can see whether you are talking in integrity or not. They don't accept rules for the sake of rules. The only thing they understand is negotiation and direct dialogue. You have to call them into participating. You have to call them to build their lives with your guidance. You have to give them the responsibility, treat them with honor and respect, and allow them for their self-leadership to develop their life in their own way. And you tell them where you want them to go, and you tell them what is acceptable or not. But for me, I worked with these children for years under the guidance of Metatron, who is the archangel that looks after the Indigo children. And I've always been successful with them because I've been honest from the beginning. And besides, if you are not honest, they will see it through. Then I met my husband on the 6th of September, 3 days after the birthing contracts take place. And I remember that when we met, it was like a swirl of energy, like one of these movies. All this energy started to swirl all around us. And I remember that it was like we were looking at each other, and I thought it was a split second. Well, I looked at the watch, and 20 minutes have passed. I had no idea where the time went. But I felt it, and he felt it. I felt it all in my solar plexus and my stomach. You could describe, like I said, locking in. All chakras from the bottom up, going up like that, locking in. And as per that, we started our life merged together in like a school of dolphins in a parallel way. Wherever he was going, I was going. Normally I have the vision, and then he implements. I call it a job specialization. Each one takes on the tasks that works better for each one. I don't tell him what he must do. He doesn't tell me what I must do. I do what I think I can do or want to do or is right for me, and I do it efficiently in my own time, and so does he. At the end of the week, we come together, everything is done in the house, everything is tidy, up standards, shopping done, cleaning everything. Everything is achieved, work's done. My daughter is focused, protected, and covered. Always, she has two schools, a dance school and her normal school, and she excels on both. She's totally focused, but it's a soft focus. It's a focus of self-discipline and self-love and self-courage, where you know what the task is, what is asked of you, and you implement and you strategize. And when she gets upset at school, she comes here, she cries here, we keep it together. I coach her and tidy and give her what she needs, and she integrates it, she digests it, she decides her way of acting next time. She goes back to school and she stands up one level up. And this is the way these children need that guidance. They need strong guidance only when they need it. They don't need to be manipulated, and they don't need to be told or interfere with or shown the ropes that they don't need to be shown. They will watch you and they will follow you if they think that what you are doing is right. And the only way to connect with them is at heart chakra level. They need to respect you. They need to like you. They need to understand that they are safe. And when they are safe, they put down their barriers, they relax around you, and they just take on their job. In my case, it would be the schoolwork or assignments or learning the syllabus, and they get on with it. And other teachers comment, your children behave so well. And I say, because it takes me about 4 months to get everybody together in the same mindset. And at that point, they start becoming little helpers. They start supporting me on what I need to achieve. And if somebody goes out of the line, they themselves say, don't go there, that's not going to work, come back here. So they never feel they need to stand up for themselves. They don't feel that they need to justify themselves. They don't need that I am judging them, or I give them the truth as it is, and they just take it and say, okay, and they assimilate it in their own time. This is this kind of children we are talking about. They can be scary. If you have anything to hide, or if you have soft spots, or you are lying to yourself or them, they just see it and they see a blur and they will pick until they break you down there, because this is their job. They are not being disrespectful and they are not being unruly. This is the spiritual contract. They need to take the earth to the next level of unconditional love. And sometimes that job is hard. This is the job of leadership and self-leadership. And it is not easy. It becomes easier later, but it takes a strong stance. Now, why do they call these children the blue babies or the Syrian connection? What is this? I have another book that is called Magical Conception, and I will also put it here in the text box. And I took a quote from Drumbalo Melchizedek in The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. He says, the third planet out from Sirius B, that some call Oceana, happens to be at the home planet of the dolphins and whales. Peter Shenstone, leader of the dolphin movement in Australia, has channeled an unusual book, The Legend of the Golden Dolphin, which came from the dolphins and describes exactly how they came from another galaxy, how they came to be on the little star around Sirius B, and how they traveled to Earth. The entire planet there is almost completely water, he says. There is an island about the size of Australia and another about the size of California, and that's all. Those two land masses, there are human-type beings, but not very many. The rest of the planet, which is all water, is cetacean. There is a direct connection between the human-type beings and the cetaceans. And so we keep getting more connections with the sea. The indigo crystal and star children, I put them all together in the same pack. They are different ages and different purposes, but they more or less working together. Peggy Radar in Fleurs de Viessons says, a great many parents today are seeing that their children are exceptional souls, like the indigo and crystal children described by Lee Carroll and Jan Tover in The Indigo Children. The new kids have arrived. And Doreen Virtue in The Care and Feeding of the Indigo Children. I think that many of these children represent an evolutionary advance in humanity, which society and particularly our school systems are not equipped to deal with at this moment. But these Indigo children are the first force of attack of the old system and old consciousness. They came here with the agenda of fighting anything out of integrity. And they came across as rebels, misunderstood by schools, teachers, and parents alike. Many of them diagnosed as attention deficit disorder were put on drugs in order to calm them down and make them conform. Indigo children are grown-ups in their early 20s now. Crystal children were the second line of attack, and they come with an active and awakened spiritual and psychic abilities. They may see orders or be able to read people's minds, but they come with a strong message of love and do not understand when people are unfair or unjust to each other. They are peacemakers, and they're also helping shift the consciousness of the planet. They are in the early teens now. Star children are the next stepping stone in human evolution. They are arriving now and will continue to do. They did until 2012, which is when I wrote this article. And when the final deadline for the Earth shift is foreseen, my daughter Ichazo is one of these. And Ichazo means the sea, by the way, in Basque, because I wanted to call her Oyana, which is the forest. But when I was 3 months pregnant with her, she told me, I am not a forest, I am the sea. And I want to be called Ichazo, and I had to change her name. When I met my friend JP on the 17th of May 2006, we were doing some channeling together. And he received the following channel information. We were sitting together. You and Anna accepted a vision which we will reveal to you soon. Too many people are suffering and the future is in your hands. They cannot suffer anymore. You have to set their spirits free. You are the blessed ones and set from heaven. You are angels on earth. This is just to say that we come from the future, not just us, many other people come from the future. They said, we are the warriors of Michael and infuse love into the world. This is the world now. There is too much hate, confusion, power that takes the world over. And I will receive messages in thoughts and words. We are from Sirius and the angelic energies combined. To complete the circle, we need you on earth. Show this to Anna, she will understand. And I said, sí, in Basque, is Ichazo, my daughter's name. S for Sirius, E for Earthlings, A for Angels. And JP said, oh, how could I miss that? If you put all these elements separated, they don't make any sense. But when you start gathering together, then you start creating a story. It's a story of magic. There are many layers we don't get, we don't understand. These are just some. I have so many more. Maybe this particular tale on its own doesn't mean much. But if you follow my work, if you read my books and you follow the story, because my books are based on my real life story, and I have always interwoven the magic and the growth and the spirituality and my shifts with all the energy work that I've been doing over the last 25 years with the messages I receive. So the thing to do is not to say, I believe, I don't believe, that's up to you. The thing to do here is to say, are there any like effects in my life? Are there any similarities? Are there any steps that I recognize? Is this a path that I'm also following and I didn't know? Are there some elements that I can use to lean on and start mapping out the path in which I am going? Is this something I can use for my personal evolution? And is this something that is going to facilitate my strategies to learn the steps moving forward? The question is for you. I'm just giving you what I have and what I have achieved and what I have accomplished. I don't judge you for being here or being there. I expect you not to judge me for being here or being there. Everybody's at a different stage of evolution. But what I want to help you, the reader and the observer and the watcher, the viewer, I want to help you to raise your consciousness. Open up your mind and start picking up signs and information that maybe in the past you thought surreal, unreal, useless, irrelevant. Because I can tell you that it isn't. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.